Your Side Tonight with Jamie Bowles starts now.
Thanks for staying with us here at 7:30. We begin with the future of diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI, in higher education. Last year, the Supreme Court made the decision to end affirmative action at universities, and this has created a new legal landscape around DEI programs. Already this year, Republican lawmakers have proposed about 50 bills in 20 states to restrict DEI initiatives. Texas already done so. In January, a state law went into effect banning diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives at public colleges and universities. As a result, DEI organizations and clubs are being shut down, and employees working with these programs were laid off. The move came with mixed reactions.
It's not just something that impacts current students, it's going to impact a lot of people in the future. Like, it feels like we're living back in, 1950s Texas. Like, that's not where we want to be. People think that this is a minority recruitment program. It's not. Our universities and our state agencies should look like Texas.
Now, similar changes could be coming to the UNC system very soon. The change would affect all 16 public colleges and universities across the state, including right here in UNC Charlotte, you got UNC Chapel Hill, NC State, and the rest. A committee for the UNC North Carolina System Board of Governors voted to reverse the current DEI policy in less than 4 minutes yesterday.
I will now entertain a motion to repeal and replace.
With no debate or discussion, the Committee on University Governance unanimously voted to take the decision on scrapping DEI up to the full Board of Governors. The current policy requires a diversity and inclusion officer at every UNC institution. The new proposal calls for compliance with the university's commitment to, quote, institutional neutrality and non-discrimination.
And it's really upsetting, especially with all the changes that have happened in regards to affirmative action.
UNC Chapel Hill Jr. Camila Perez says she's benefited from employees focused on DEI.
But I know that more and more Latinos are coming into UNC, and a lot of these DEI positions have helped us specifically just because they know our backgrounds, they know the issues that we struggle with.
Senior Morgan Davies was also disappointed.
A public school should be, a microcosm of the whole state, and a state is naturally diverse. And so I don't think you can call yourself a public institution if you're not going to have DEI policies.
Governor Roy Cooper denounced the decision, writing, quote, our diversity should be used to highlight our state's strengths, not our political divisions. Former UNC System President Tom Ross also criticized the vote, writing, quote, the Bipartisan Commission on the Governance of Public Universities found that a lack of diversity among university leadership and governance boards is both a disservice to students across the UNC system and leads to the controversy and volatility that we're seeing threaten our public universities. Do want to point out, too, none of the Board of Governors has done interviews after that vote. On the flip side of this, there's been a push to increase DEI initiatives at our country's medical schools. In fact, new research from a collaborative team at Northeastern University and Massachusetts General Hospital outlines strategies to advance DEI initiatives in those medical schools. And we spoke to two doctors leading this study about how that they collected some of this data.
We actually did surveys of more than 300 people. We actually did, articles. We review articles from the 1960s up until 2021. And we also then did a lot of in-depth interviews, 60 in-depth interviews to really see how it come all together. What were the strategies that repeated themselves over and over again?
So here are the strategies they came up with, which includes policies correcting past discrimination, holistic frameworks, pathway programs, DEI committees, and financial support. From these strategies, researchers then came up with 5 recommendations for medical schools to improve their diversity. One of them was power shifting by developing public-facing searchable dashboards with metrics on enrollment, retention, graduation, and DEI efforts.
So how can you implement a change when you can't even access the data to know what your numbers look like? So there is this need to power shift so that the everyday person who's applying to a medical school or thinking about going into a public health program, that they can look at the data, they can make the decision for themselves. So really getting the data from behind these walls and shifting the power to the public so that we have that information and we can keep institutions accountable because institutions are meant to serve everyone, not just some of us.
Now, as far as the UNC system goes, the Board of Governors will vote on whether or not to reverse its DEI policy next month. If it's approved, the repeal would take effect immediately. We'll keep you updated and let you know what they decide. We're on your side tonight, staying on top of your forecast. To give you some live pictures from our HD tower cam, you also see Lake Norman tonight. Looks pretty still there on the water right now, doesn't it? But boy, we felt the heat today, didn't we? And now we have some rain moving in our direction by tomorrow and into the weekend. Meteorologist Rachel Coulter's here in the First Alert Weather Center. She is tracking when those showers will start. What are you thinking?
So we could have a few showers in the morning. That's a possibility, and that's why I was mentioning earlier. Check back in with Al, because what we're going to be watching are some showers and storms that are likely going to be ongoing overnight to the west of the area. Okay. How long will those actually survive? We'll have some implications on what we see by the afternoon hours. Here's the good news. See all this severe weather to our west? Same system, but different setup, especially when it comes to the ingredients and the coverage of the showers and storms that we're expecting. They've got severe thunderstorm watches that really line this entire cold front. You've got several tornado warnings in effect now just to the south of Dallas and out towards St. Louis. That's where we're seeing a lot of that activity over the course of the evening so far. We're dry for now, but by tomorrow, morning hours will have the possibility of some showers, and by the afternoon and evening, we're going to be watching some of those scattered showers and storms develop across the area. We just don't have to worry about that yet tonight. It's really nice outside. We got temperatures in the 80s, 86 degrees right now in Charlotte. Still pretty warm. We made it to 88 degrees, and we're approaching sunset here, so the temperatures will drop, but not very quickly. We have a warm evening ahead. No need for the jackets. Still 82 degrees, even in Morganton and Lenore. It's 74 degrees if you're listening in from Watauga County. Here's the next few hours. You'll notice the temperatures dropping back into the 70s as we work our way towards about 9 o'clock tonight. Low 70s as we approach midnight. Very briefly, we're going to be waking up in the 60s tomorrow. Friday's still a warm day. We're just adding the chance for some scattered showers and storms. That hour-by-hour forecast straight ahead, Jamie.
See you in a few minutes, Rachel. Thank you. We're on your side tonight now with Campaign 2024. You've noticed North Carolina getting a lot of attention in the race for the White House. 16 electoral votes are up for grabs. That is the 10th most in the nation. And it could be another nail-biter in determining who wins those electoral votes come the fall. In fact, in the last 4 presidential elections, so between 2008 and 2020, the average margin of victory in North Carolina has been just 1.8%. It has been that close. The last 3 have gone to the Republicans in the race, with Donald Trump winning the last 2. Biden campaign obviously would like to turn that around. The president and vice president have been in the state several times already this year, and we'll likely see more of them.
North Carolina is going to be in the bullseye of battleground states. I mean, certainly Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, those are going to be kind of the epicenter. But North Carolina, along with Georgia and some southwestern states, I think will be in the mix for a highly competitive, highly divisive campaign coming up.
Now, as for former President Trump, he is heading to our state this weekend. See some of the details. He's scheduled to hold a rally in Wilmington Saturday night. It's going to be held at Wilmington International Airport. Now, he's also going to be coming to Charlotte. Trump will attend a private fundraiser here. His campaign has some catching up to do in the race for campaign dollars. At the end of March, the Trump campaign had $93 million on hand. The Biden campaign, $192 million.
In a race this close, can money move the needle?
Money can definitely move needles in close races. And it's by getting just the smallest fraction of people to think about the race in the way you want them to think about it.
Our chief investigative reporter, Nick Ochsner, is learning more tonight about that Trump fundraiser here in Charlotte this weekend. So who's hosting it, and why did it sort of pop up on your radar?
Yeah, well, a long slate of people is really the answer, but the specific person that I'm interested in is a guy named Scott Greenblatt. He's the CEO and founder of a company called Veterans Guardian. That name sounds familiar because we've done several stories about that company over the years.
Is that a for-profit, non-profit? What is it? What do they do exactly?
Yeah. So Veterans Guardian Guardian is a for-profit company that advertises itself as advising veterans on ways to increase your VA disability benefits. What we've reported on, though, is, and what they've gotten scrutiny for, is the way in which they do that, and the fact that they're charging veterans money to do this when a county veteran service officer or a veteran service organization like the American Legion or VFW would give that same advice and same service for free.
What are veterans groups saying about this organization?
Yeah, they have been targeting them for quite a long time. Specifically the American Legion, the VFW, these are all organizations that have gone after Veterans Guardian. And most recently, they got a cease and desist letter from the VA itself because Veterans Guardian is not an accredited organization with the VA.
Trump campaign responding to this in any way?
Yes, so I asked. I reached out to the Trump campaign. I said, you know, does former President Trump endorse this business? You know, they've come under scrutiny, the subject of class action lawsuits at the VA, cease and desist. And his campaign spokesperson responded to me and called me a deranged liberal reporter, but didn't actually answer my questions.
Not the specifics.
No, whether they,
I didn't get it.
I got an answer, not to that question.
Not to the question you were asking. So it's a Saturday. We don't really know what time, or do we even know the location at this point?
No. Well, you know that he's going to be here in Charlotte for this private fundraiser, and then he's going to hold a rally in Wilmington.
We'll be watching all of it this weekend. Nick, appreciate you stopping by and walking us through it. Coming up next here on Your Side Tonight.
Not having access diminishes one's dignity, contributes to mental and physical health issues, and impacts the viability of our state.
Unlike other products that are understood to be basic necessities, menstrual hygiene products are taxed in the Carolinas, but that could change soon in one state. We'll explain coming up next. And budgeting for a new home goes beyond the monthly mortgage payments. We're on your side, looking into ways to save up for the Charlotte housing market.